In this video we are going to take a look at some upcoming VR games that aren't really in the spotlight but definitely deserve to be. So let's get straight to it. First off, I want to start with the Mighty 8 VR. I have personally been waiting for this game for a very long time, and after seeing the miniseries Masters of the Air, I can't be more hyped to play it. The Mighty 8 VR puts you in the shoes of a B-17 Flying Fortress crew member at the height of the strategic bombing campaign over Europe. They say you can partner up with 9 other friends as you work together to survive the war and accomplish your missions. So co-op mode with 10 people in total. Now they have recently released some footage, and although it looks semi-realistic, arcade-like, flying the B-17 in such a detail and putting yourself in different positions within the plane is something I look forward to. Now, this game doesn't have a release date yet, but I am glad to see that after some radio silence, they are now releasing new dev blocks, so keep your eyes out on the Steam page for any further updates. We stay in the skies with Combat Air Patrol 2, an old game that has been in early access for I don't know how long. Recently though, it was announced that Combat Air Patrol 2 will be published by the legendary company Microprose, the same by the way as the Mighty 8 VR. Now there is a huge roadmap ahead with some very nice VR improvements such as OpenXR support. Currently though, there is only a single player mode. They will be adding multiplayer, including a campaign co-op mode where players can take part in missions or ask for fleet versus fleet and play in co-op against AI fleets. But there will also be a PvP mode where you can fight against other players and do also a fleet versus fleet mode, or in some similar way. Now, I will definitely dive back into this game when it is developed a bit more, but with the help of Microprose, it is looking very promising and something you should keep your eyes on. Now, from the sky to the deep sea with modern naval warfare. This next generation naval combat simulator will immerse you in the dark and unforgiving world of modern high-tech naval battlefields. Now, I am a huge fan of this genre, as I think there is no better way to immerse myself than being in a dark, claustrophobic submarine, especially in VR with the creaking sounds, etc. Now, according to the devs, this simulator will be fully playable in VR. I think it will have a pretty hardcore and steep learning curve, hey, but that's what makes the game challenging. Now the game will be fully playable in co-op with friends, where you can occupy different stations within the submarine. There is no release date as of yet though. It will be published by Slitherine, another very respectable publisher in my opinion. So yeah, if you want to keep up to date with the game updates, they do publish some dev blocks on their Steam page, so check the Steam page out. Now for the sponsor of today's video, I want to highlight the following. If you struggle to read indicators or normally wear glasses, but you know, not in VR, I highly recommend trying out the latest prescription lenses from VRWave.store. They prevent damage to the VR lenses because you don't have to wear glasses, which I was always worried about, and it will reduce eye strain with a blue light filter. So I don't want to sound like a billboard, but I really wish I had done this sooner. So if you're interested, visit vrwave.store. Now for our next title, the Steam page just went up and it says it will be releasing this year in 2024. It will be Assetto Corsa EVO. This sim redefines the realism and features of one of the most popular multi-platform driving simulations ever developed, according to the developers. Featuring cars and tracks from different classes spanning across years of motoring history. And yes, you guessed it right, VR support has become a first-class feature. So I expect VR to be implemented at launch, which is what this genre needs. WRC came without VR support. We have Le Mans Ultimate, came without VR support, still isn't playable in VR. And these racing sims, they scream VR. There is not much info yet though, only that it perhaps will come in 2024. Not many in-game videos, but hey, fingers crossed they can realize that 2024 release window. Now we are going back to flight simulators with much personal hype here, because recently IL2 Korea was announced. And playing IL2 Sturmovik, the previous one, in VR is an absolute banger. If you haven't yet, try it out if you like flight simulators. Now, not only does it still look beautiful, IL2 Sturmovik that is, but it also is super accessible, and above all, it runs super well in VR. And I've always said that if they have this accessibility but in a Cold War setting or focus on the Korean theater, man, it will be amazing. And well, here we are, it is announced. There is not much detail besides a very short teaser, but what they promise on their website is a mouse-free experience in VR, and I am curious what that is going to be and what their definition is of a mouse-free experience in VR. There is no Steam page yet, only a website, and the link can be found in the description below. I am super stoked. Now for the last two games we go into space. First we are going to take a look at Space Trucker, a game developed by I think just one developer, and it is basically a Euro Truck simulator but in space, with quite sim-like controls such as starting the spaceship with tons of buttons and communicating with spaceports, which by the way offers voice recognition. In short, Space Trucker is a realistic space simulator where you fly your cargo ship to different places within the solar system. You can configure your ship, maneuver for departing and docking, plan your high-speed flight and execute it all without breaking the space rules or killing yourself. Now, it is developed for VR only from the ground up. Now, don't expect to just sit and fly your spaceship. Part of the game is knowing your ship and its systems. You can go cold into the ship and follow the checklist provided in the cockpit. But browsing the manual will probably make it more enjoyable. Now this document is available as a PDF for download, but you can also open it in-game, which is pretty cool. It doesn't say the game will be released in 2024, but again, you can download the demo on Steam. And if you look in the discussion tab on Steam, people are really enjoying the demo and have played it multiple times. Definitely worth checking out if this is your vibe. Now, for the last game on the list, we are going to take a look at Intersolar 83. As the captain of Intersolar Shuttle number 83, you will set out across the galaxy in this exciting new VR space exploration game, managing your ship and supplies as you seek resources you need to make the next jump. Now, this is really how I see the future of space games, and if there is ever a next Elite Dangerous, I just really hope it supports VR just the way it does in Intersolar 83. This is definitely more arcade-like than Space Trucker, but in the headset itself, the graphics, the lighting, the way you can move around in your spaceship, and that claustrophobic feeling and loneliness of traveling through space are just incredible. In this game, you can also land your spaceship on different planets and walk around, and if you want to experience it yourself, well, the game is not out yet, but just like Space Trucker, you can download the demo on Steam and try it out yourself. Now, alright, that's it. Let me know what game or games you are most hyped for that are not really spoken about. Any games from this list perhaps that you like, or please let me know if you know a game that is not on this list yet, but you think should be added. As always, thanks for watching, and if you like sim games by the way, go check out my most realistic VR games video. Some pretty good titles in there. Now, anyway, hope to see you in the next one. Ciao ciao.